Hello Gales fans, I'm Kyle Compo and welcome to the Gales Weekly Highlight Show brought to you by Queens TV. On homecoming weekend, the Gales football team put on a show for their fans in their final home game of the season. Alex Carroll had over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Billy McPhee threw for 386 yards and 4 touchdowns, and running back Jesse Andrews rushed for over 100 yards and added 2 scores of his own. The Gales sent the crowd home happy, winning 57-10 over the York Lions. At Nixon Field, the Gales took on the Western Mustangs in a pivotal game between 2 of the OUA's top teams. With a potential first place standing on the line, it was Western with an 8-7 lead at the half. Queens came out flying in the second half in front of a big crowd and scored 26 unanswered points for the win. In women's rugby action, the Gales visited Guelph in their OUA semifinal. The Gales held the lead early thanks to a try from Miranda Seifert, but Guelph stayed right with the Gales all game. In the end, it was the Griffins taking the win by a score of 29-21. The Gales will take on Western next weekend for OUA bronze. The number 3 ranked women's hockey team played their lone game of the week in front of over 1,500 fans at the Rogers K-Rock Center for a school day game. The crowd propelled the Gales to a 5-0 win over York, and Caitlin Lahonen got the shutout win for Queens. And the men's hockey team took a 2-1 road win over UOIT on Thursday before returning home Saturday night to take on Concordia. A third-period goal from Spencer Abraham held up as the winner in the Gales' 3-2 victory. After a midweek loss to Ottawa, the women's soccer team rebounded nicely on Sunday in their final regular season game as they doubled up RMC 6-3. Tara Bartram finished with a pair of goals in the win for Queens. And the men won their match against RMC by a score of 5-0 in their final regular season game on Sunday. Tommy Hong struck first early in the match, and the Gales never looked back, taking the win. Moving on to the preseason action, the men's and women's volleyball teams hosted invitational tournaments over the weekend, with the men finishing with a perfect 3-0 record to win the tournament, and the women going 1-2 against Sherbrooke. The women's basketball team was on a West Coast swing, going 2-1 with wins over Fraser Valley and Trinity Western, and the men's basketball team went 1-1 while in Montreal, beating UQAM Saturday by a score of 52-48. Queens athletes of the week for this week are Caitlin Lahonen and Lucas Rumble. Lahonen recorded her first career CIS shutout for the women's hockey team, while Rumble put forth a strong all-around effort which included a pair of tries and a pivotal game against Western in men's rugby. The Gales game of the week is the women's and men's volleyball as they kickstart their OUA season this Friday as they welcome the Windsor Lancers to the Athletics and Recreation Center at 6 and 8 p.m. in the Gales game of the week. For QTV and GoGalesGo.com, I'm Kyle Compo.